Hi out there again. I made a mistake earlier when Saturn collided with the Earth and created the Grand Canyon. What it was, the minerals from the Grand Canyon made the moon, not the sun. Sorry about that. Anyway, a little bit more on how the government set me up. It was the feds and local law enforcement that falsely accused me of crimes I did not commit, all right, or would I commit, all right. What it is, how the feds got involved was they used a truck, all right, and they left information into my apartment, okay, about the truck. I go outside with the information. I look across the street and I see this truck. Okay, now this truck was not in my neighborhood before. That's why I went up to it. Okay, and everything the information said about the truck, like I said, all the information added up to that truck. Okay, so as I'm looking around the truck, it had all over it had high sensors. If you touch the truck, the alarms would go off. So, but the alarms did not go off at the time when I touched it. Okay. Anyway, I also saw a federal tag. At that time, I should have walked away, right, knowing this was some sort of setup, right? But I didn't, right, because I'm thinking, okay, this has got to be some sort of gift, all right? Maybe the feds will give me a gift. I don't know, all right? Well, I found out later it wasn't a gift; it was a setup. So anyway, local law enforcement got involved, and what is the one that owned the truck, which was a federal agent, right? Anyway, he assaulted me when I went up to him to ask him about the truck if it was for sale. I was going to ask him if it was for sale, and I was going to give him the key for eternal life by touch. Yes, I was capable of doing that. That was one of the gifts that God gave me. Also, one of the gifts that God gave me was be able to smell evil, all right, and sense evil. Okay, at the time, I did not smell no evil on him, however, unfortunately. Anyway, no sooner than I'm about ready to say something to him, he makes two steps on the left side of me and in the back of me, and then pops me two times in the back of the head. Almost knocked me out. All right, that's why I shook it off and I said, bruh, man, do you know who I am? All right. And he looked at me just scared, right? And started to run a little bit. He went to another door. His friend or brother or whoever when it was with him, he said, "Go get my gun." So anyway, he went to go. His friend or brother went to go get the gun. All right, came back down with the gun. He put it into uh, what known as Frank. I don't know what his last name was, but he's supposed his name's Frank. All right, in the court papers, that's what his name was. The complainant. All right, so-called complainant. All right. Anyway, he put the gun into his hand, but it was facing toward the door and away from me and him. All right, that barrel was. So anyway, I told him, take your hands onto that, put your finger into the trigger, stick the gun into your mouth, and pull the trigger. All right, because what you've done to me, you need to die. All right. Unfortunately, I know that was kind of not nice to be saying that, but hey, what he did to God Zeus, yeah, he had the right to be have his head blown off. I'm not into guns, right, or have anybody hurt themselves like that, but I was pretty mad at the time. All right. Anyway, I just walked away. All right. He just looked at me, and I just walked away. Went across the street back to my apartment. Anyway, lady came and grabbed my hand, all right, and said, "Please give me money. Please give me money." I told her, "Look, first, don't touch me, all right? Okay, I don't like that, and I'm not gonna give you money for drugs, all right? I know that's what she wanted it for, all right? So I'm not giving you money for drugs or alcohol or whatever, All right. So I told her, let me go. All right. And she looked at me with teary eyes. And I just walked away again. All right. That's when the cops pulled up. All right. So I went across the street to go talk to the cops because I know they're going to come and talk to me eventually. So I went over to talk to them and let them know what happened. And man, I got assaulted again. All right. And arrested by the officer. Right. And like I said, they almost dislocated my left arm when it grabbed a hold of it. All right. And jerked it. All right. And to put handcuffs on me and throw me in the back of the car. All right. Now, let's talk about the first setup. Okay. The first setup, I got, I went down to the glass museum. All right. And I kept hearing that sound. All right. I didn't tell you about that sound. Well, yeah, I did. Okay. The sound that kept annoying me, right, brought me to the glass museum. All right. Anyway, I walked into the glass museum where they blew glass. Okay. I saw an Indian gentleman and an Asian lady sitting together. They were watching what they call Jair News. All right. Which I watch Jair News every now and then. It's world news. All right. Anyway, up on a full screen TV up top of the above the furnace. All right. So I went up to the Indian gentleman and asked him, "Do you know who I am?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, I think I might be God Zeus, but I'm not sure." So I told him, "Well, stand up. I got a gift to give you." And he says, "What?" I said, I'm going to give you a gift. All right, because Indians have a right to get the key for eternal life since they were the first ones, all right, of mankind. Also known as the sons of God, all right, sons and daughters of God. Actually, did you know that so-called Adam and Eve, right, was actually God created Eve for himself, all right, to order to have his children come about. All right, so but Adam was not his real name. Eve was not his real name either. They had Inca names. I cannot pronounce the Inca names, but it started Inca first. Then it goes to the Mayans, Aztecs, all right, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. That's when God first walked this earth. These are things he told me. These are things he showed me. He even showed me what happened in the garden. All right. Yeah. About Satan and Eve, so-called Eve. All right. All right. Anyway, what actually happened was where they fornicated together. All right. She didn't know at the time what was going on because Satan transformed himself to look like Zeus. See, Zeus was Indian and black when he first walked this earth. I know a whole lot of you are going to get mad about that, but I don't care. I happen to have Indian in me, and I have African blood. I wonder how that got there. I don't know. Anyway, as I'm being set up for the first time, the Indian gentleman gave him the key for eternal life by touch. Okay, I touched him 3 times in the back of the left shoulder. All right, tapped it 3 times, and then I took the same index finger and touched his heart. That's when he goes, "What was that?" I go, "Well, that's the key for eternal life." All right. He looked at me with like shocked eyes, like, "Whoa, what?" So anyway, excuse me. Anyway, he sat down. So I was gonna go and give it to the Asian lady, the same thing, but she waved off like this. So like she didn't want the key for eternal life. So hey, I'm not gonna give it to somebody or force it on anybody if they don't want it. All right. So anyway, at that time, I walked away and I walked 3 rows above them. Okay, sat down and started looking around. Right. Okay, looking for clues. All right, because God's telling me to look around. Right. And as I'm looking around, I'm looking down at the furnace area. I see some weird objects. Okay, so I decided to get up, go down, look what these objects were. I saw like a puddle of what looked like a puddle of metal, but it was solid, right? But it looked like a puddle of metal. I go, why would they have metal for glass? I don't know. Maybe they mix it together. I don't know. All right. Anyway, then on the left hand side of that was a doll's bed, a doll sized bed. Okay, about like a 10 scale or 11 scale, right size. So anyway, on the pillows were fake teardrops on the two pillows. All right, I thought maybe that was weird, right? But then I remembered that day when I was given the key for eternal life to other people. Okay. Anyway, I especially a friend and a gentleman that I didn't even ever never met, right? Gave him the key for eternal life too that day. It started to rain. Now, during that day, there was no clouds in the sky, but all of a sudden it started to rain. All right, a light sprinkle, whatever, right? Anyway, as it started to rain, I was thinking at that time, God's telling me this is the angels crying because they know that I'm came about. All right, that God came about onto mankind's time again. All right. So anyway, as I started looking around, looking at the pillows, I was going like this up in the sky, all right, and then my eyes going like that, right? Okay, like tears coming from my eyes, right, and looking at the sky like the angels crying, all right. That's what that was representing to me. So anyway, now on the left side to that, up above, was a doll facing the other way, dressed in a wedding dress, all right, and some fake diamond rings on the side of that. Okay, below the doll on the left side. Okay, anyway, I go, these are odd things. And why is the doll facing away where you cannot see her face? All right. So God's telling me later on that me and Eve are going to connect again. Yes, there's a possibility she might still be alive. All right, think about it, right? If God created her and He had the key for eternal life, all right, and His creation, right, also had the key for eternal life. All right, think about that, people. So anyway, now also the children, if his actual children would have came about, right, they would have had the key for eternal life. But because of what happened in that garden, that's why we did not get the key for eternal life. All right, now I'm coming about to have the key for eternal life to a water purification system that actually can help mankind. So many cures, all right, it'll make you sick. All right, well, not sick, but it'll make you better. All right, I'm talking about like all cancers, all right, diabetes 1 and 2, all right, MS, like I said, Alzheimer's, all right, mental illness, okay, some mental illness, not all, because there's some people they mess with on their minds so bad or fried out, okay, by either electric shock therapy or medications that cause their eyes of their I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, the pineal gland, that's what it's called. The pineal gland is right here, all right, and that is when it opens up, the eyes of ability come about, all right. Now, you ever seen like different cultures, like Buddha? You got also, well, there's a bunch of others that have the eyes of ability. I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, so let's get back to, like, say, when I got first accused of a crime that I did not commit, right? Now, as I'm going down there and looking around, now I started hearing that sound again, and it's coming from the back of the furnace, all right? So I decided to go, I was going to go back there to look, all right? But there's a gate, right, or a barrier, right? And I had to jump, not jump over, but climb over, all right, to get to the back. All right. So I was about ready to do that. That's when the receptionist, okay, that takes, that's responsible for getting the money for people coming into the museum. All right. Well, I walked right past her over there. All right. Well, anyway, she lightly grabbed me by the arm, the left arm, and she started to usher me out, right, of the building. I looked at the Indian gentleman at the time and like, hey man, why ain't you saying something or helping me? Right? I'm looking at him like that. And he just looked at me and looked away. And I said, man, after I gave him the key for eternal life and he turned his back on me like that, oh man, I was mad. All right. So anyway, as she's ushering me out of the building, all right, I asked her when I got outside, where do I go from here next? She said, um, pointed to the parking lot and park that's just below the 509 bridge in Tacoma. Yeah, Tacoma, Washington. All right. So anyway, I decided to go there. I see an old friend there. Okay, I asked him, "Hey, what are you doing down here, man?" He said, "Well, I'm here selling cigarettes, all right, to homeless people and whatnot, and others." Okay, I said, "Okay." Hey, and now at the time I smoked, right, but later on down the road I quit smoking. Right? It's not a good thing for you. It's actually bad for your soul. That's true. If you smoke, God does not like it. And I found out the hard way. He don't like it whatsoever. All right. Anyway, so I asked him for a smoke so I could do a ritual. So he gave me a smoke. He goes, a ritual? Oh yeah, I'm here trying to do a ritual, and that, and I need a cigarette. Okay, like the Indians used to do, is take a puff of tobacco and blow it up into the sky to please the Father Sky, which what they didn't know, it doesn't please Father Sky whatsoever, or Sky Father, whatever they call it. All right, which is God Zeus. All right, I know a lot of you uh, Native Americans are going to listen to this, but it's true. Okay, like I said, God has a lot of respect for you all. All right, I know I'm white, right, but I do have Indian in me, right, and I have African blood. All right, I'm also I got Irish, German, unfortunately German a little bit. All right, and Norse. All right, Norseman. Anyway, on the what happened when I went underneath the bridge. Okay, as I talked to him, I started walking around and looking right at clues, trying to look for clues because God told me look around. Okay, so I don't see nothing, right? So I go back to my friend, all right, after I finish the cigarette. And I told him, hey, by the way, God keeps telling me that there's supposed to be a lot of money here. All right. So he knew, I don't know why he knew about it, but he said, oh yeah, go look over by the bathrooms at the park. And I go, okay. So I didn't see nothing at the park at the time, but I wasn't paying attention over at that bathroom. All right. But anyway, there was a suitcase. All right. So I go, man, this is odd. The suitcase is hanging outside on the pavement, right out in the open. All right. I go, and if there's money in there, man, I go, that's crazy. But anyway, as soon as I went to the suitcase, opened it up, there was nothing. All right. I'm going, why is God telling me there's a lot of money? What that is later on, because that water purification, there will be a great deal of money to be had. Think about it. Key for eternal life. How much is that worth to people? All right. God told me to make a great deal of money. Now I can't let people have it for free because we do that for free. We're going to have overpopulation. So I had to do stages. I had to set up stages. All right. So to keep the population from going too high. All right. Only those that can afford it at the time, all right, will get the key for eternal life. I will be helping out those that are poor, all right, by holding what they call it, waddles. Okay, all right, that's how I'll be helping out the poor. All right, now let's get back to the first setup. I'll finish up with that. Anyway, as I'm looking around, okay, I noticed when I walked by this car, the lock popped up. All right, first the alarm went off, goes beep, 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 real quick, and then the left passenger door, front door, uh, pops up, and our lock pops up, and I'm going, what the hell, or what's that about? So anyway, I didn't bother with it at the time. I think God's telling me go ahead and look inside. Excuse me, I got it in.